we're bringing back the game that started it all. This game came out in 2005. It's probably older than most of the people watching this right now. This game is going to blow your mind for many, many reasons. There are some incredible cars in this game, incredible circuits in this game, and it's crazy to see just how many things have changed. In case you couldn't tell what it is, this is Forza Motorsport 1, the original Forza game that started it all. This was where Forza began. And today, I'm gonna tell you some stories about it that you might not know, and we're gonna jump into it. First order of business, I need a name. Perfect.
Nick is old, but we still love him if he is in an old people's home.
Whoa. Just for the record, I've never played this game before. I was too young to play this game when it originally came out. We're gonna jump into the career mode, and the things in this career mode are gonna blow your mind. Right out of the gate, in Forza Motorsport, you need to choose your starting region, and where you start affects the prices of cars and the races that you do. Many cars are common in their home region, but they are rare and thus more expensive in other reasons. For example, a Corvette is common in North America, but rare in Asia and Europe. That's so cool. At the moment, I have a 23,000 credit budget, and I can purchase any of these shit boxes. I can get a PT Cruiser. A Ford's not bad. I can go with the Acura. The Acura is probably the playa. Remember back in the day when starter cars were actually starter cars? Do I really need to do it? Oh, for God's sake. I guess if it is the mid-2000s, I guess we're doing this. We've got to go to North America, or we can compete in F-class race. Wait, but we're D-class. Wait, what? Oh no, sorry, it's not F-class, it's front-wheel drive front engine. All right, boys, so welcome to Forza Motorsport. Here's the deal. This game originally came out in 2005, and there's some things you need to know about. First and foremost, it's missing a lot of features that you would almost expect in racing games nowadays. For example, there's actually no interior view. You've got a bumper cam, another bumper cam, and then two cameras behind the car. That's it. There's no interior in this game. This was before interior cameras basically became a thing. Here's the backstory for Forza Motorsport. When this game came out in 2005, it was actually built to be the Gran Turismo killer. Between public interviews that the developers did at the time and some of my own chats with some of the OG Forza Motorsport developers, I've got a little bit of an insight and a little bit of a story to tell you. A couple of years ago, I was in the UK with Dan Greenewald. He's one of like the main people over at Forza Motorsport, and specifically, he's one of the 5 people who actually pitched Forza Motorsport to be a game and be made by Microsoft. Anyways, when I was speaking with him, he was telling me all these crazy stories about how he used to work at Microsoft as a video game tester and worked on games like Midtown Madness, for example. I didn't crash. Okay, that was a crash. Long story short, Xbox and Microsoft saw the success that was Gran Turismo and wanted their own version. So they went in and over 2.5 years with 20 people, only 20 people made this game. And what's crazy about it, during their testing of this game, they basically got a bunch of complaints from people who were testing the game saying, it's too not again! Okay, that was a crash. They got complaints from people that the game was too simulation and too hard. So they actually had to go in and make it more accessible so people could play it like on a controller and stuff, which is pretty cool. P1! Let's go! Oh, yeah. Forza Motorsport also had a damage penalty. You obviously got money for winning the race, but you also had to pay to fix your car. So if you stacked it into a wall, sucks to be you, I guess. Anyways, we leveled up as well, so we get even more money. And we get a bonus with upgrades. All right, we're off to Road Atlanta, the short circuit. When this game originally came out, and again, when the developers were testing it and like making the whole game, they didn't want to be like the #1 simulation game. There were kind of other games doing that at the time. Ever since day one, and I mean, actually, technically, day zero, they wanted this game to not just be a race around the track game. They wanted it to be more of a game and therefore developed more fun aspects into the game and prioritize car collection. For this game, they actually hired on one of the developers who worked on Pokemon to develop how they did like the whole car collecting for this game to make the progression feel natural and satisfying and fun. And long story short, ever since then, Forza Motorsport has been or Forza in general, has been a car collecting game. Some people might say recently they've kind of lost some of the progression, but it's at least nice to know that's how it started. Yeah. They kind of wanted it to be Pokemon with cars. Basically, all this to say, hey, developers, if you're watching, could you hire some more Pokemon developers? Because we could really use some more progression. Just saying, if this was Forza Motorsport not 8, we would already have a Lamborghini by now. Meanwhile, here I am driving a PT Cruiser and racing an Eagle. How times have changed. Damn, across the line. We're heading to one of the circuits that has been in every Forza Motorsport game. We are off to Laguna Seca. Let's go take a look and see if we can spot any glaring differences. I have a question for you guys. I've been very fortunate in my time since I've been making YouTube videos to get invited out to all of these cool events, right? Where I oftentimes get the privilege of speaking with developers who have made some of these games that we play every single day, right? And it's always cool to meet them because they've always got incredible insights and see the games that we're so familiar with in a very different way. As we get closer and closer to Forza Horizon 6 coming out, I think I'd like to speak to some of the Forza developers who have been there since day one and just talk to them and do an AR12 podcast with them and ask them about their side of things. For example, there's this really famous story about how Forza Horizon was originally pitched as a PGR reboot instead of Forza Horizon. I'd love to ask the developers about that. I'd also love to ask the developers about all the intricacies of Forza Motorsport because there are some really cool stories behind the scenes for how this game got started. Anyways, all this to say, hey chat, would you watch that? I don't know. If we get enough people who say they want to see it, I'll try to make it a thing. But will they answer questions? I'll say I've spoken to the devs a lot and they're pretty open about answering questions about 20-year-old games. Not only, I think it would give people a very different outlook on the games that they play and are very familiar with, like I was saying, but I think it also gives people an insight as to how game development actually works and might encourage people to look into game development as a possible career because let's be honest, it's actually pretty cool. I do need to come clean about something. Obviously, I'm playing this game on an emulator. This entire time, I've had the game upscaled 2 times. Do you want to see what it actually looks like? Oh my god, what are the pixels? I could count them. Technically, this is also 1440p. This game should be 480p. Like, that's crazy. I mean, to be fair, for 2005, I guess that's not bad. But like, damn, bro. What you've seen for Forza Motorsport is just scratching the surface. There is so much depth to this game. It genuinely blows the recent games out of the water with how much stuff is in here. Hey, look at that. We level up to level 2. Now Brembo is giving us a discount in the auction or in the auto upgrade shop. That was difficult to say. Now that I've completed those 3 races, we can go and upgrade our car. If we go into the garage and then I guess we go into buy upgrade, Chad, this is gonna blow your mind. I guess we'll start with engine and power. Did you know in the original Forza game, you could tune your engine with like ECUs? I guess this technically says install a crankshaft, titanium connecting rod, lightweight piston. Look how in depth it is. Anyways, I can't afford that. We can do the exhaust and intake, fuel systems. We can get a turbo. We are not allowed to supercharge, intercooler, and engine swaps. This car doesn't have any engine swaps. Then we've got aero. Here we can actually go and change up our wheel. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure some of these models are still being used in... Are still being used today. Wait, You can tint your windows different colors. Then look at all the bumpers in here. Dude, this is so early 2000s coded. Look at the Forza arrow. Oh my God. I need to do that one. Got that. Thank you. That was money well spent. Rear bumper. Let's go, baby. Which one has a big old fart cat? Wait, they had Forza rear bumpers back in the day? I didn't know that. Petition to the developer. Can we ask the developers to bring that back? Holy, that's sick. Dude, look at these side skirts on here. I mean, they're not actually anything too special. All right, then we've got hoods. Correction. Oh my God. Chat, why is my hood ribbed for her pleasure? Wait, you could... Wait, what? Since when can you swap out tail light? I'm gonna do it. Do you want to see one of the biggest flexes on the new Forza Motorsport game? How did a game in 2005 give you the ability to spin your camera around when upgrading your car so you could see your car from other angles? But a game that came out in 2023 didn't. How does that make any sense? Anyways, we can give it some suspension. They're called Stock, Modified, Club Sport, and Professional. Dude, that's cool. That's really expensive, though. I can get better brakes. I can get a better transmission, clutch flywheel, weight reduction. Here's the other thing, right? You know when we leveled up, I got a tire sponsorship. In this game, when you get sponsorship, you actually get 10% off. I could upgrade to Y-rated tires, which are better for speed. Dot spec tires or full-on racing slicks. That's so cool. The game lets you paint your rear wing individually. Oh my. Oh my. Here's the other thing. Obviously, in Forza Motorsport games, you can go in and tune your stuff. This menu genuinely hasn't changed. It's still the same. This hasn't changed at all. Everything is still in the same place. Oh my God. Dude, the tuning menu's from 2005 and it hasn't moved. Oh my God. Let's go front engine, front wheel drive. Wait, what's Alpine race? Is this based off something? What is this circuit based off of? Chat says I'll recognize it. There's no way this is real. Also, nice move. Oh, we're getting lag. Nice move. Up the inside. Grippy. Ow, ow, hey, yo, hey, yo. Yo, I found Nathan's drivatar in 2005. What the hell is this based on? How can I not recognize it? Chat, can you give me a hint? Like, what country am I thinking? Belgium? Wait, is this supposed to be... Whoa, 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 whoa. Is this supposed to be Spa? So this should be the start-finish straight. This should be corner one. Now we should see a monster hill in front of us. Wait, it goes down. This is like Spa from Wish. Stevie Wonder was the one goddamn describing this race circuit. It's honestly like somebody put Spa in the oven, it melted, and then this is what came out. Chat, you cannot make fun of me for not recognizing. This is not Spa in the slightest. And across the line. The developers must have got the license or for like Spa for Forza 2, right? These are all of the things I would absolutely love to talk to the developers about. It'd be so cool to get all the like behind the scenes insight as to the development process and all of like the thoughts that went in. Dude, I do love Tsukuba. This is such a sick circuit. It's honestly so sick to drive around some of these like older circuits that just genuinely haven't changed. This circuit is genuinely exactly the same. Wait, is that a goddamn Shell sponsorship? Did the developers sell advertisements in this game? Dude, there's an actual Shell gas station over there. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm used to seeing like car advertisements around the circuit, like all the tires, for example. Nowadays, you do not see gas companies advertising in car games. Toys R Us from Times Square. Dude, classic memory unlocked. Forza Motorsport 2005. We have a Shell garage. FM 2023. We have a shell of a game. Chat says, Nick, show us the list of tracks in this game. I'll show you the tracks and the cars. The next thing I'm going to show you, though, will blow your mind. It's actually one of my OG favorite features from the old Forza Motorsport game. Come on, gain, 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 gain. Never mind. Don't worry about that. It's fine. The cheat code profile names? Wait, that's a thing? Here's the really cool thing with this game. Did you know in Forza Motorsport, you didn't actually need to play the game? You know how you think drivatars are the AI that you race against? Wrong. Not in this game. In this game, you can train your drivatar. And the drivatar will drive like you. It was 2005. It didn't drive like you at battle. You had to give your guy a name, and then you had to go and do lesson to make your guy better. How sick is that? Wait, Tokyo City? Hey, yo, what's that circuit? And look at the car we're in. If I do 3 laps of this circuit, I guess then, quote unquote, my drivatar will learn from me and get better. I don't know. Wait, what? This is actually cooler than the new Forza Motorsport. Chat, don't say Nick's drivatar is gonna be worse after training. You shut your goddamn mouth. Can I get at least 100% on a corner, please? Up! Yeah, so I'm definitely not doing it on that Anyways, on the bright side, my skill issue is actually a double. I got 100! My skill issue is actually a W because it shows off one of the other brilliant parts of this game, and that's the W damage model. My rear wing yeeted itself into the crowd, probably took someone's head off. It was moving so quickly. My bumper is so banged up, it's not even funny, and my rear glass shattered. I'm now basically a convertible. Chat says, Nick, how do 20 people give crash physics like this, and in 2023 they brag about 3 scratches? Chat, times have changed. Times have changed. Dude, I wonder, in 2025, how many people would it take to make this game? Like, just with the graphics as they are, nothing special and so on. Like, are we really cooked as a society, or are games just truly quote unquote harder to... I can tell you what I'm not good at. Obviously, we'll never know. But I wonder how much this game costs to make versus how much the most recent Forza costs to make. No, don't go in the pits. What a skid. All right, and across the line. My drivatar has now been trained successfully. He's got some significant issues, mainly King. Now that I've loaded into this race, I can ask my drivatar... What do you mean? Why can't my drivatar race for me? If your drivatar was competent, he could actually drive for you, which is pretty cool. The other really cool thing in Forza Motorsport, the original one, they actually had point-to-point races, which for Forza... Let me turn! For Forza Motorsport 2023, apparently that's a bit too complicated. I don't understand how in 2025, we don't have point-to-point races on Fujimi Kaido like we used to have. It actually blows my mind that that is not a thing. And it was in 2005. Dude, this is such a sick map. Dude, if you took a screenshot of this, I'd have no idea it was Forza Motorsport. Why do we not have these types of circuits anymore? I think the developers mindset for this game was so much better than it has been currently. Forza Motorsport in 2025 is trying so hard to be such a serious hardcore racer, whereas this is like, hey, just do late night street races in this fictional circuit. It has all of the fun elements that you would expect. Like, this is actually better. I think we've done enough of the career mode. Why don't I go and show you some of the other circuits in here and some of the crazy cars in this game? Because this game was from 2005, if you just try to go in and play on some of the circuits, you'll notice a lot of them are actually locked. You have to unlock the circuit so you can go and drive around them in free roam. However, you can also just do it in time trials and you can try whatever circuit. Obviously, you get mandated a car, but I think we need to go Fujimi just to see what it's like. Wait, Rio was an OG circuit back in the day? I didn't know that. We should go to OG Silverstone. Sure, let's do that. Oh my days. That's certainly a different sort of car. Hasn't Silverstone changed a lot since 2005? So this in theory should be very different, both in the actual layout of the circuit, but also like everything surrounding the circuit, like even just the stand placement. Look at all the old buildings there. In real life, there's big buildings there. There's a Porsche center over there in real life. Dude, it's so different. Isn't this the new start finish straight? Whoa, 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 whoa. Where am I going? 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 Oh my God. Dude, the old layout for Silverstone is so different. I actually don't know where I'm going. That's the new tunnel under there, or like the new bridge over there. And then you come into all the hairpins. Dude. Oh my God, dude. The old school pit building is what a vibe. Because it was 2005, cheat codes were also a thing. I'm pretty sure if we enter some names in here, we can unlock everything. I don't know if this is supposed to mean something, but chat says Wilson. Why does Wilson give you level 50? Look at this cheat code. It's Team Forza. On this profile, I should have unlimited amounts of money. Look at that money, baby. I really want to hit up Fujimi because Fujimi's just crazy. These layouts are not the same as our layouts we have now at all. We've got A, B, C, D class, then S class, and R class. Good old Forza Motorsport. What's actually like the highest PI car in this game? Toyota GT1, CLK GTR, McLaren F1 GTR. Okay, what if I just go for like a nice A class car though? You know the awkward thing about this car? Does this car still use its basic scan for Forza 5 or Forza Horizon 5? I really want to see what Fujimi looks like though. Dude, wait, that bridge is the same there, but then everything else is like different. Fujimi is so different. Look how wide the road is. The road is enormous. Oh, this bridge is the same. Wait. That bridge is the same. So wait, are you telling me there are some little elements that are shared between the two? Although, yes, they're both called Fujimi Kaido. This one is very different. I wonder if this little area that we're approaching now is kind of like a start line. I would usually say it's a trip down memory lane, but I never played Forza 1 when it was originally out. It's not so much a trip down memory lane, but it's like, it's kind of oddly nostalgic in a way. On one hand, being an OG Forza Motorsport game, there are a huge amount of similarities between this and obviously the current stuff. At the same time, there is so much that's changed and so much that's different and unique. It's familiar, but at the same time, it's so different. Okay, I think we need to go hit up the Nurburgring too. A good old classic German car for the German circuit. Wait, chat says there were over 200 cars in this game. They just cut a bunch of them out because they're rentals and I can't rent them, even though I put the cheat code in. 230 cars in this game? Dude, that's kind of crazy. Also, 6 starting location. Dude, 230 cars in 2005 is crazy. Also, look at the Nurburgring. Dude, the Nurburgring hasn't changed. Dude, look at that. You can even see the Grand Prix layout over there. Chat says, what are the physics like? They're very nice considering everything that's like going on. Full disclosure, I've got every assist on and I'm playing automatic gears because it's less about the racing and more about the story. This game almost feels perfect for the time that it came out in. I think if you're comparing it to the physics from games like nowadays, the physics are definitely floaty and muted, but at the same time, it's also an emulator and a lot of that could just be like input lag and so on. I would say, though, it just feels good. Also, chat, you're right. Why am I driving around the Nurburgring in the fall? Why is that a thing? I think the thing that is blowing my mind the most is how did the developers make both a fun and accessible racing game in 2005 that had so many unique features, and then in 2023, just forget all of it? That's what I don't understand. Like, when Forza Motorsport came out, like the new one, I was like, this is not a good game because it's not a good game. The fact that this exists in 2005 just makes it even worse. Speaking of the cool things that this game did well, I need to go try Autocross. Genji says, Nick, go buy one of the pre-tuned cars. Look at all the Porsches. They got the whale tail in there. Oh my God. Racing GT3 car? Le Mans GT1 car? Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's go! The OG. I guess you would call this nowadays a classic Super, but I guess this was just the Super at the time. I just want to see. Are these all the same ones we have now? Dude, these are all the same ones. The body parts for the Supra are copy-pasted from 2005. Oh my God. Dude, look at the Forza arrow back in the day. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. In 2005, we had 3 different Forza arrows. I don't even know what to say. Anyways, I just want to go do one more event. This'll work for autocross. So you straight up just spawn on an airfield with all the cones. I've got to assume if you hit a cone, you lose time or you get like a penalty. Dude, this is the widest autocross circuit I've ever seen. Brake, 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 in. You do get a penalty. Oh my God. Dude, it's legit autocross. This is the coolest thing. Dude, just how? If that's autocross 1, dude, how hard is autocross 10 gonna be? Honda S2000, dude, you know what's crazy? If you just went out and bought all the cars that were like the good ones when this game came out, you would have made a disgusting amount of money. Imagine buying a Supra when this game came out, dude, you would have actually printed cash. This is so sick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, look at the send. I'm not gonna lie. The autocross circuits are still very wide. Judging your depth in this game seems to be quite difficult. Nice, 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 nice. What a line. What a line. Break. Oh, make it to the line. Dude, it's so cool. I just want to go finish on one more circuit. Ferrari Enzo in its absolute peak on the Forza Motorsport test track. I don't think it gets better. I don't think it does. What a beautiful layout this is. Look at this, going into like this castle rundown section. I absolutely love this game. Did you see the way the sand trap worked? Forza Motorsport was straight up one of the best racing games of its time. The career mode progression is 10 on 10. What a beautiful game. I can't believe I didn't play this when it originally came out. I never had an original Xbox when it originally came out. But damn, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how the developers went from this to 2023. What a fall from grace, huh? What review score did this get? Chat says this game got a 92 on 100. Absolutely deserved. Oh my God. This is such a good game.